Hello, welcome to Soulprint Pendulum Friday. This is going to be for the 8th of March. All right, we got a ton of questions this week, so I'm just going to hop right on them. But before I do, I want to thank everybody who sent me a birthday wish. It was lovely for all of you to take the time and just send me those lovely wishes for my birthday, and all of the amazing comments about how wonderfully I'm aging. That was just super duper good for my ego. So I appreciate all of it very, very much. As much as I appreciate all of you being here and supporting this channel, and especially Pendulum Friday. You guys are really, really liking that. I also want to say a quick thank you to my donors. You guys are absolutely amazing. It humbles me every time, and I'm so grateful that that's one of the ways that you choose to show your appreciation, along with all of the comments and the thumbs ups and the views and the shares, all of it. Let's get going here. You guys are keeping Joyce busy. Holy cow. Alrighty. This may come up later on. She's just flagged it as a question that has probably been asked and answered before. But sometimes with these questions, you have to sort of ask them every once in a while because the energy shift and change. So the first question I'm going to deal with wants to know is Hakeem Jeffries going to end up being Speaker of the House before the November 2024 election? Pendulum. Okay, so the pendulum's telling me it's ready to work now. It's going side to side. Pendulum. Is Hakeem Jeffries likely to end up Speaker of the House before the November election? Alrighty, that's getting actually a really, really strong yes. So that's interesting. Hey, speaking of which, if there is somebody out there who understands the house, the way it's sort of figured out, could you just send me an abbreviated form? Because I can't figure out how come if they only have two votes to spare, but they have something like 5 or 6 seats that are more than the other guy. It confuses me. I don't understand how those seats or / votes are sort of broken up. If somebody wants to send me that information, just an abridged, a short version, I would be really grateful. Appreciate that. All right. Is Putin still alive? Yes. Is the Kremlin using body doubles for Putin? Yes. So I know the unspoken question is, was it a body double that took part in the Tucker Carlson interview? Let's ask that one. Was that the real Putin talking to Tucker? Saying yes. Now, we know that he had been really, really sick, but I don't believe that I ever, in my readings anyways, that I ever indicated that he was going to die. I think what I said was he was just sick and there was a slow recovery period. I could be wrong. I don't remember very much. I would like to ask if Putin's plan is to destroy the Republican Party from within, using Trump as retaliation for the fall of the Soviet Union. Okay, it's not moving. So I'm going to ask the question a couple of different ways, because actually Putin's plan is not to destroy the Republican Party from within, but to destroy America from within. The way you do that is you get people fighting against other people, right? It becomes that sort of them and us society. And that's exactly what's going on in the United States, right? You have this incredibly, incredibly divided country right now. That falls into Putin's plan, because when that happens, things start feeling really unbalanced, and you have a segment of the population that feels like they need a strong man. They need somebody strong to come in and restore a sort of a sense of balance or calmness. What those people are not understanding is that there's like a definition for strongman. It falls into the category of Putin and Orban and Kim Jong-un. Those are strongmen, dictators. But when a lot of people who are megas say strongman, that's what they want. What they're saying is they just want somebody with it's fine, somebody who can stand up. That is not the same thing. So they're actually asking for something, and they're not understanding the I guess the actual meaning of what they're asking for, and in the impact of what they're asking for should it actually come to pass. That is more Putin's plan. It is, as I've just rambled on, pendulum, is it Putin's plan to destroy America, destroy democracies by separating and dividing the people within? Yes. You see, when you think about it, the Republican Party has not really divided. What you have is people who are saying, I can't do this anymore, and so I'm going to retire. They're leaving. Those are like the Republicans that are left. The rest, they're all MAGAs. They're falling right into Putin's plan. We know that Putin's trying to restore, the USSR, right? The Soviet Union. He wants it to come back together. I'm just going to ask it this way: does that continue to be Putin's prime motivation? Yeah. I don't. I mean, Trump is so easy to use for all kinds of things. I'm not sure it's retaliation. I think he's just such a useful idiot that. Okay, last week David Pakman had a psychiatrist on who gave the name for the mental disorder that seems to be affecting 45, speech and cognition. So the pendulum question is, will the increase to the point where even the most ardent followers notice he is mentally gone before the election? Okay, so that's a yes. The question is that going to prevent them from voting for him if he is still a viable candidate? No, it won't. It absolutely won't. If you saw some of the video of some rally he was having, and he was going on and on about Obama, and he was slurring his words. He wasn't making any sense. The people behind him, first of all, they were bored. They were looking around. They were on their phone. Like, do you remember a couple of years ago when he had some guy moved from behind the stage because he wasn't being enthusiastic enough? These guys can't even focus, for God's sakes, and that seems to be fine. So even if they notice, at this point, anyways, they're not going to back off. I dare say he could literally be a blithering idiot, and a significant number of people who are in his thrall will say that's okay. I mean, what is it? Something like 60% of people say if he is convicted of a criminal offense, it's okie dokie for him to be president. Carrying on. They say Trump stinks. As a nurse, I've heard of a rare kidney disease that causes a person to stink. As the toxins build up, it would cause Trump's cognitive problems and the sweating. Does he have this kidney problem? Pendulum is saying yes. You do understand the pendulum cannot diagnose. It is not medical information. Will Trump be back to run for president again after he loses Yeah, I shouldn't have changed your wording. Your wording was much more positive. After he loses the 2024 election, is he going to come around one more time? No. No, he's not. Um, if so, will Trump be given some sort of punishment other than fines, jail, or home arrest? Okay, well, the if so is confusing me. So, given the current legal issues that Trump has going forward, is he actually likely to see jail time? No. In addition to fines, is it likely that he may end up in some sort of a house arrest situation? Yes. We shall see. Will Judge McCaffrey survive the Republican primary for state and local officials in Georgia, which happens on May 21st? Thank you, by the way, for those who clarified for me that in Georgia, the judges are like elected. I kind of missed that. I didn't quite understand that. So thank you for the clarification. So is he going to survive the Republican primary? That's a yes. Will Judge McCaffrey get elected to his seat during the general election in November? Okay, so, and then it says McCaffrey was appointed to his position in a predominantly Democratic county by Brian Kemp, who replaced a judge who left office early. So is McCaffrey likely to retain his seat in the November election? At this point, it's a yes. Okay, so if McCaffrey loses upcoming election, will the Trump case be decided before he leaves office in January of 2025? Is the Georgian election interference case going to come to trial and be completed before inauguration 2025? Okay, so we've got no movement. So as I've explained before, when it just doesn't answer, it means, either it's none of our business, which doesn't apply here. So then it means that the energies are so staticky, they're so up in the air, there's free will considerations that in some ways there's just a probable outcome hasn't been determined. Okay. Will Bonnie Wills win re-election in November of 2024? Let's see. Okay. It's saying yes. That I'm just going to ask this one since we're on her. Is Bonnie Wills going to be removed from the Georgia election interference case? Is she going to be removed? I'm getting a no. Is Bonnie Wills likely to have a significant role in state or federal politics beyond 2025? Says yes. Will churches that participate in the political process lose their tax-exempt status in the second Biden term? Afraid not. Will Lindsey Graham have health problems in 2024? Yep. Will Mitch McConnell have health problems in 2024? Yes. Will a Democrat take McConnell's Senate seat? Energy right now says yes. Now, I do understand that apparently his term isn't over until 27 or 28. Let's ask. Is McConnell going to still be in the Senate until the end of his term? Is he going to be in the Senate until the end of his current term? No. I believe I've gotten that before. Will any funds be released to help seniors in Maryland and Georgia? Rental assistance, stimulus, food stamp increases, affordable housing, without being, oh my God, on a 2 to 5 year wait list? Are you guys kidding me? Good gracious. Is there any financial relief coming to seniors in Maryland and Georgia and probably other places too? Is that something that is the Biden administration going to be able to do something to help particularly seniors who are on, a fixed income? Yes. Black history books and African American studies are under attack, especially in Florida. Will this be reversed? Yes. Did you hear that? That I guess it was a law. I guess that they were trying to get passed about the whole woke thing. It got denied by the courts in Florida. They said no, 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 you can't be doing that. You're infringing on people's First Amendment rights. So I guess DeSantis got his hand slapped. Oh my goodness. Will the wildfires in Texas get under control and or put out soon? What soon? Will the wildfires in Texas get under control or be put out before the beginning of July? Okay, right now it's kind of a little no. Here in Alberta, because as you know, most of you know I'm Canadian, I live in Alberta. There is snow on the ground. For anybody who saw, the Atlas chasing the horse ball around the yard, we have snow on the ground pretty much everywhere. But fire season has already started. There were fires that were burning all winter long up north. So we are officially in a fire season. It's the beginning of March. It's craziness. Will DA Bragg be able to finally win a felony case against Trump? That looks like a big, strong yes. And is that case going to start on schedule? I believe that is beginning March 25th. Is that going to start on time? Big, strong yes there too. Will Fonnie Wills be allowed to continue with her case? Okay, so we've got a yes there already. And will it be completed before the election? Okay, right now it's a no. I suspect there will be more clarity if Judge McAfee ends up, I guess, still in his seat after the primaries. I guess at that point it may move a little faster. I guess we'll see. Will Jim Jordan be accountable for his past? Will he be held accountable for his past? At some point, I guess, yes. Okay, will Katie Porter run for Congress again? So Adam Schiff is going up against a Republican for Dianne Feinstein's Senate seat. I'm assuming that the House reps who ran for the Senate seat did not have to relinquish their Senate seat. So is Katie Porter going to run for Congress again, meaning she will continue on as a rep? Yes. She's an amazing woman and she has a lot to offer. But I think when this whole thing came up, I think right from the beginning, I had said that she didn't have the experience to go into the Senate. She wouldn't be like a strong enough candidate against Schiff because he, of course, has years and years of experience. But she has a long run in politics ahead of her. She is so smart and so well respected, very clever woman. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. Will Haley supporters go with Biden? Okay, that's like way too broad a question. Will 20% or more of Haley supporters end up voting for Joe Biden in the election in November? That's a strong yes. There's a lot of them who have said, kind of almost like no matter what, they just can't vote for Biden. I think that's going to shift and change as things go on, but there's just some who just simply will not. They won't vote for Trump and they're not going to vote for Biden. So I don't know. Are they either not going to vote or are they going to go in and spoil their, whatever that's called, the thing they vote on? Will we see Citizens United overturned in Biden's second term? Okay, so we're getting a really, really, really little yes. The bigger question is, in Biden's second term, are there going to be enough liberal-leaning justices on the Supreme Court that would allow Citizens United to get overturned? Okay, and so that's a yes. So I guess the caveat is if he can get the justices on the court, then they've got a chance. Will something be done for those who are dependent on very low Social Security checks in their retirement years? So it's okay. So will those Social Security checks see a increase to help those people who are living on a really fixed income? Yes, let's hope so. Let's hope so. You know, they increase them, I guess, to match inflation. The problem is that when inflation goes up, okay, so I don't know, a carton of eggs goes from $1 to $1.50, okay, and then inflation levels out. All right. And then they say, okay, inflation's just dropped and it's holding steady now. And everybody, that's great news. The problem is that the eggs probably only went down to $1.30. So the problem is that initial hit of the inflation impacted the price of whatever the good is. And it takes a long time for that good to return to its original price, or what they do is they return it to its original price, but they make whatever it is smaller, whether it is the number of pickles in a jar or the size of a chocolate bar, everything shrinks a little bit. So you're not getting the amount of product that you were prior to, but they can say that they've, brought down the price. Sometimes it's just a really scuzzy world. Sorry. Oh God, will racism end one day? Well, let's just hope. Will this earth ever evolve to a place where racism will diminish to the point of non-existence? Will it end? Okay, but yes. Honestly, don't look for that anytime soon. Okay, okay, I already asked the one about Hakeem Jeffries. Yes, it looks like he very well may end up being House Speaker before November. Will Colin Allred unseat Cancun Cruz in the Senate? That is in Texas. Looks like. Go Allred. Will Representative Andy Kim win a Senate seat in New Jersey? He was the rep who was literally helping staff pick up trash and clean up the mess in the Capitol after January 6th. Okay, so Andy Kim, is he going to win the Senate seat for New Jersey? That's looking like a pretty darn strong yes. All right. Are Nikki Haley voters likely to bother to vote at all? I think we sort of covered that. A lot of people who are motivated to vote in the primaries, I mean, really, they're going to be, motivated to vote in, the election. But I right now, energetically, it is still, there's too much negative chatter about Biden. He's too old. He's too old. Apparently, there's been like some new ad that coming up that basically says you can't vote for Biden because he's not going to survive his term. So, once the Democrats get their butts together and they start really aggressively pushing back against us, I mean, Biden is what, like 2.5 years or something older than Trump. I mean, the Trump people are carrying on like Biden is a couple of decades older. Trump's running up his butt, okay? Like this is kind of such a ridiculous equivalency or false. It's it's not an equivalency. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make this very big space between the two, but there's not a lot of space between them. So the Dems really have to start pushing this idea that Biden is extremely healthy and in good shape, and Trump is not. So I guess until there is sort of a lot more positive messaging around what Biden can do, his health, what he's already done. I think then that's when you're going to see more of a shift. So honestly, it depends on how good the Biden campaign is and the Biden surrogates are to get that message out and out in a way that people who that people are going to hear it and they're going to absorb it. Compared to 2020, will there be more voters casting ballots in 2024? Oh, yes. Holy Hannah, look at that thing go. I wonder how much of that we can thank Taylor Swift for. Asking just a question. Okay, so you're going to see this on Friday by then, the State of the Union address. I'm recording this Thursday afternoon, so that's going to happen in a couple of hours. So will President Biden's State of the Union address have a positive impact on independent voters? Yes. Will all of the RNC money really go to 45? And no other candidate down ballot. Okay, I'm just going to adjust that because when you use things like all, you're going to get sort of funny answers, right? Like if he's going to get 80% of it, the pendulum is going to say, no, he's not going to get all of it, right? So we got to kind of try to break that down a bit. So is the RNC going to give the majority, a significant majority of their money, is that going to go to 45? Yeah. Are the down ballot candidates going to be negatively and severely impacted by the lack of financial support from the RNC. Yepers, they surely are. They surely are. Will Democrat voters in Michigan and Minnesota who voted uncommitted ultimately vote for Biden? Okay. Will a significant number of Democratic voters in Michigan and Minnesota ultimately vote for Biden? Okay, so yes. And that was referencing the ones who voted uncommitted, okay? Will the next session of Congress take up eliminating the Electoral College? Okay, right now that's saying yes. Again, if the Congress has a strong enough Democratic numbers, they can do a lot of stuff. It's when the numbers are so close that it's harder to get stuff done, right? But one person can block stuff, a couple people can just cause havoc. I don't understand the phrasing of this question. Did Merrick Garland prevent Jack Smith from indicting? Oh, no, sorry, this isn't the question I didn't understand. I apologize. Did Merrick Garland prevent Jack Smith from indicting Congress people involved in the January 6th insurrection? No. When Jack Smith only indicted Trump, was that to simplify and streamline a process to get Trump in court faster? Yeah. This was, he didn't want this thing to get gummed up with a whole bunch of defendants. You can kind of see what's going on in Georgia with this sprawling number of defendants on that. It's going to be tricky. All right. Will Benny Gantz, I don't know who this is, replace Netanyahu in 2024? Right now, it looks like a yes. At this point, do you see a clear winner in the North Carolina governor's race? Running will be Mark Robinson. Oh my God, this guy? I just can't even. I just can't even go through the list of things that he stands for. There was no Holocaust. Women shouldn't vote. It just goes on and on. He is like a Neanderthal, like literally from the dinosaur ages. And he is running against the current lieutenant governor named Josh Stein, I think it's Stein, who is the current attorney general. All right, let's just get this dealt with. Is Mark Robinson going to end up winning the governor's race in North Carolina in 2024? No. Is Josh Stein going to win the governor's race in North Carolina in 2024? Yes. All right. Okay, I don't know what this is about. Will psychiatrist Dr. Gartner's diagnosis petition gather steam and influence the election? I don't know what this is about. I'm just going to ask the question. It's kind of like a little yes. Is Elon Musk lending Donald funds to save his properties? Not at this point. Bigger question is, when Viktor Orban visited Trump at Mar-a-Lago, as a result of that, is there going to be funds coming to Trump either from Orban or from another party? Yes. Listen, you two, stop it. Kitty cats. Hey, stop. That is not a good way to behave around your siblings, you little poops. Sorry. Sibling rivalries, good gracious. Okay. Our maple magus, that's so cute. Our maple magus going to be troublesome and dangerous for Canada? Okay. So it's kind of like a little no, it's kind of like a little yes. I think right now, they're not going to pick up the kind of steam that we saw in the United States. But I have to say, living in Alberta, and Danielle Smith, our premier, is not helping matters. I'll just leave it there. Will Project 25 dismantle after Trump loses? No. It'll become, I don't know, Project what? 2028? 2029? Will Trump pick a female for VP? Yes. Will we go through the whole mess of Republicans screaming that the 2024 election was stolen, rigged, and weeks and weeks and weeks of court cases and chaos? Okay. So I'm getting a small yes. What I'm hearing is that it's just not going to be as intense. It feels very much like the winds are going to be just a little bit more decisive. And unless you are a real diehard Trump supporter, as a lawyer, you're going to be much more careful about jumping in to that hot mess, because you've watched other lawyers either losing their licenses or coming very close to losing their law licenses for filing those kinds of ridiculous suits. So I'm thinking maybe no. Alrighty, I'm not going to chat any longer. This is a really long video. Thank you very, very much for being here. I'm so grateful for all of your support. It's Friday. Have an amazing weekend. I will see you next week. Take good care of yourselves. Be kind to yourself and someone else. And until next time, take care and be well. Bye-bye.